right, guys. Listen, as you've seen the title of my live, what I'm going to do here is let's celebrate Sierra Leone because over the past few days, you guys have seen Julius Maada Bio and Fatima Bio representing Sierra Leone, right? So it's a beautiful thing. I'm not going to take that away from them. But what I want to do is for us to identify our inefficiencies and that will give a sense of direction as to what are the priorities that we should have, right? Because in as much as these people are representing Sierra Leone, but one thing that is actually affecting Sierra Leone and Africa as a whole, because again, remember, my platform is Saving Africa Uncensored. It is the fact that these priorities for these people are misplaced. So much to the point that a lot of times when they find themselves in these circles, people like myself who are very intelligent that understand what those circles mean, these events and stuff like that, these people tend to appear as square pegs in round holes because they're not fit. They are not fit in those environments. And that is a fact because you are not representing what you talk about. And if you're not representing what you're talking about, then you are not that person. Again, Julius Maada Bio attended the FII, summit in Miami, Future Investment Initiative, stuff like that, right? But we look at Sierra Leone today, our economy and everything, the political discourse and everything that is actually happening, the drug epidemic that has taken over since this guy came to power in 2018. Sierra Leone, no electricity, no clean drinking water. So the environment is not even permissible for investments. You would have fly by night investors with, those are the kinds of investors you'd have come to Sierra Leone, unscrupulous investors, corrupt investors, criminals. You look at Fatima Bio coming to, the United States now, so because she was invited by Melania Trump again, talking about humanoid technology, AI technology. Go look at our schools and go see what is actually happening on the ground. So again, we are celebrating Sierra Leone because again, these people are giving notoriety to Sierra Leone. But the sad reality is a lot of these folks that are going to see and hear from them and say, okay, let me go check Sierra Leone out. When they get there, the reality is going to be, it sucks. So it's nothing to write home about. And that is the reality of what we actually have going on. And that is why people like myself are going to come here and say, yes. Because of course, giving the level of education in our folks, people are so bankrupt with the way they think. The moment you come and start to talk about these folks who are, elected officials, so they are open for discussion, and we should capitalize on that because if you don't want nobody to talk about, you don't get into politics, right? Stay away from the politics, and nobody's going to discuss you, but you're a public individual, so you're going to be discussed. And I think the best way I could really, show you guys what I'm talking about here has to do with this video. And I think I'm going to start doing this every now and again to open up, with this video to remind these guys and their foolish, supporters that are not thinking for them to understand, that we as citizens have a responsibility because their leaders are the ones that have actually called us. So let me play this video. I think I'm going to start doing this.
Make your own contribution. Speak out. Not be a silent witness to what they happen. Because what may happen will be end up with a 1992 situation that because Salomon they will keep quiet. The APC don't take moves towards an eventual one-party system. They're not.
So basically, yeah, I think I wanted to open up with that. However, again, this is, as you can see, the invitation of Fatima Bio invited to White House by Melania Trump, who's the wife of the President of America, Donald Trump. So I want to share that with you guys. This, under normal circumstances, would have been a very big deal, given, the fact that, people like myself, of course, this colonial mindset, right? Okay, if you hobnob with the President of America, that means you've made it. We don't want that mentality anymore because, again, we don't need their approval to prove that we've succeeded in life. And I don't think that's the intention of Maada Bio and Fatima Bio, because their supporters are taking things, I think, the other way. But the intentions of Maada Bio and Fatima Bio, I don't think they see these opportunities as we've landed, we've met with the big guns. Because if you've not met with the President of America, then it's nothing. Because I know Julius Maada Bio, that is his goal, to ultimately meet with Donald Trump.
Also, I want to thank the president of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio. Maada Bio, I love that name. Thank you. Great honor to have you.
But that is not my conversation. Melania Trump, Fatima Bio, at this particular point in time, she has scored the biggest goal. She has finally hobnobbed with Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States of America. So I understand these the everything going on behind this. But let's get to the point that I want to make, specifically, so we can all be on the same page here and understand it. So I'm going to show you guys this video. This is the video of when Melania Trump organized this event, which she invited Fatima Bio to. Let's get to that event. Let's get to this video first, and then I'll break down everything that I have to show you, the evidences of why I say we should celebrate Sierra Leone. But at the end of the day, let's call out the inconsistencies, and then let's direct, the path for our priorities that we should have. Okay, so let's do this, and we'll take it from there. So this is that video of Melania Trump walking in to the summit that she invited Fatima Bio, which was a global leaders on education initiatives. All right.
Trump.
All right. So I wanted you guys to see that. And the reason why I wanted you to see that is so that we can have an understanding of what I'm actually talking about here. Okay. So when I mentioned, say, Fatima Bio attending this event, I want you to see that. That's a humanoid robot. So when I opened up, I told you, I said, Fatima Bio, these people are like square pegs in round holes in these events. You're talking about humanoid AI and robots technology, this far advanced, way, way advanced. We talk about a country, Sierra Leone, where she's coming from, and they've had 7 years to transform that nation. Till this day, electricity is nowhere to be seen. Till this day, our people are struggling with the basics. Electricity is the basic. Electricity was the first or second industrial revolution. I think it was in the 1800s. First industrial revolution, if not the second. In the 1800s. So you would hear the SLPP supporters tell you, well, APC and SLPP. It's APC and SLPP. We agree, it's APC and SLPP. But that is why people vote for a reason, a change, so that they can bring you in and you can transform the lives of those people. Yes, 5 years is enough to provide electricity for every Sierra Leonean across that country. That's not an excuse to that. But the fact remains, in Sierra Leone today, there's no electricity. Our people are still celebrating electricity when light comes. The kids are still screaming, light don't come, light don't come, light has come, light has come. It is still a thing today. Since we were born in Sierra Leone, it's been the same thing. Nothing has changed, nothing has improved. And these guys they came to power. So again, this is why I say we celebrate Sierra Leone, but let us look at the inefficiencies, right? So we can prioritize, because these people lack priority. They're not getting no sense of prioritization as to what is really important. They keep chasing clout, keep chasing the attention, want to roll with the big dogs. But back home, nothing is actually happening. So I'm going to let you guys, we're going to listen to the speech of Fatima Bio at this event, so you guys can have a clear picture of what I'm talking about.
I'm pleased to yield the floor to Dr. Fatima Maada Bio, the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency and our host, Madam.
And let me pause there. We're about to get Fatima Bio in the frame here shortly. Let me make this point very clear. Fatima Bio is not a doctor. This was a honorary degree that she probably paid for or made some contributions for or donated some funds for. Now, honorary degree, she should not be using it. Melania Trump does not know that Fatima Bio is not a PhD holder. Melania Trump and his people, I'm sure they did not even do a background check to investigate. If somebody says they have a PhD, call them doctor. How did they get their doctorate? Because it is not right. It's deceitful. It's criminal for Fatima Bio to be using doctor in front of her name. It was a honorary degree. Those are things you don't go around prancing. It is an abuse. And it's a disgust to our doctors, our medical doctors, the young men and women of Sierra Leone and across the world who suffered and toiled to go to. Fatima did not even do CNA course, let alone a registered nurse course, to understand what it's like to be educated, what comes with that level of education, the difficulty that you go through having like a registered nurse degree, going to nursing school and all of that, let alone a medical doctor. Not even to talk about a PhD, with the amount of work that goes into having a PhD. So that is the first thing. Now, Melania Trump, in her mind, which is something I'm going to make sure we address with the White House, does not even know that Fatima Bio is not a doctor. It's a honorary degree. We all get honorary degrees there. You don't go around talking about that. That's the first step. But let's listen to this. It is criminal. She needs to stop that. Let's continue.
Your Excellency and our host, Madam Melania Trump, First Lady of the United States of America, First Ladies, fellow First Ladies and First Spouses, distinguished leaders, partners, and friends, I sit before you today deeply honored and profoundly hopeful. Honored to be here at the White House among First Spouses of influence and purpose. Hopeful because together we carry the power to shape the future of millions of children whose voices are not in this room, but whose lives will be defined by what we do here today. Because somewhere today, a child is struggling and studying by candlelights. Somewhere, a girl is walking miles to a classroom that may not have a teacher. Somewhere, a boy is full of promises, but cut off from opportunities simply because of where he was born. This is the reality we must change.
And right there. So what I want to do now for you guys, because it is good that Fatima Bio knows that somewhere, right? There is somewhere, of course, Sierra Leone, across Africa, developing nations. And again, these guys, Fatima Bio and her husband, had an opportunity 2018 to 2023 to fix that country at least. But what we saw was the proliferation of drugs across the country, 2018 to today. That's the benefits we've seen. So again, that is why I say these people are square pegs in round holes when they appear in these settings. All of these other first ladies sitting there from France and all these others, they know. Even though they might not have time to do research on Sierra Leone and see what it is, but they know Africa. The perception that they have of Africa, and let alone Sierra Leone, is like we're all living in trees, we are baboons. They know that it's only the few, like the Fatima Bios, are the ones that are actually enjoying the resources from Africa. They get all the money and stuff like that. But this is what I want to do. Let us, take a look at this. Let us take a look at this.
No. When I look at school like this, I ask myself plenty questions. The school where me pikin they go Queen Elizabeth, and they pay over 7 million euros for. Thai school, iron steel doors, in fact security guards. When I see structure like this, I ask myself, if na me be young pikin I go want for make it attend school here, the question is no. I am sure if I go ask them at district council personnel, if na the young pikin they go want for med school enter here. If I go ask the councillor on this wall, they go want for make a pikin attend here. If I go ask the honorable on this constituency, they go want for make a pikin attend here. Of course, I know me young president, and we all with president, His Excellency, Dr. Julius Maada Bio. retired general, he no go love for system like this. Because as somebody will get passion for education. Where a flagship program na education, he no go want for see situation like this. Now what is so beat me imagination Dan? I can see a wonder blackboard. So wonderful. Technological blackboard that I've never seen in the world. Blackboard where it accommodate class 1 and class 2 where the teacher. Let's see the wonder blackboard. You go surprised for see this wonderful blackboard. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to this is the wonderful blackboard. Most wonderful blackboard. This is the most wonderful blackboard. Most wonderful blackboard. Class 1 to class 2. These are the blackboard this one they use. Point the camera. Look them picking there. They don't get no sitting accommodation. No decks. It's in the ground. It's not even paid. Look. Look the most wonderful blackboard. These are the most wonderful blackboard. When I look at this blackboard, water run me eye. When I look at this blackboard, I ask myself, why should I pay tax? When I look at this blackboard, what it make I vote for a councillor? What it make I vote for honorable? What it make I cast me vote in this country? Right inside Kenema, this look at the most wonderful blackboard, ladies and gentlemen.
Right inside Kenema district. So I wanted to make sure we establish that fact. All right. And so you guys could see that. And thanks to this brother, because he is not tribalistic. Because a lot of these blind supporters in Africa, that is what we see across Africa. The supporters are the most useless ones. They are the ones that are actually hiding these inefficiencies, right? Because this is an inefficiency. That's what I'm talking about. That's the life I'm talking about. Inefficiencies. And what is our priority, right? So brother like this is a very patriotic citizen. Is not, you can hear from the sound of his voice. I mean, we can know who's a Mende, who's not a Mende. I can hear that he's a Mende brother from Kenema. But he says, you know what? This is not right. Because he knows, okay, my child I can afford to send my child to a private school. But what about the kids that Fatima Bio is sitting here at this State House and talking about a child somewhere? So they recognize the problem. And that is the beautiful thing. Unfortunately, even though they've recognized the problem, they've not done anything to solve the problem. That is what we have with Fatima Bio. Let's continue to listen to Fatima Bio here at White House.
Yeah. Today, a child is
You've seen that?
and studying by candlelights. Somewhere, a girl is walking miles to a
this
classroom.
Is the thing. She's saying everything right. We believe in education. Hence, they had the flagship program for education and this and that. But what have they done to the educational system in Sierra Leone? Privatized everything. Everything has been privatized. So the poor people that cannot afford to send their kids to private schools, they're the ones that have to go into classrooms like what this brother is sharing with us, where even a blackboard in the heart of Kenema, these are the people that voted these folks into power. Listen.
That may not have a teacher. Somewhere, a boy is full of promises, but cut off from opportunities simply because of where he was born. This is the reality we must change. In Sierra Leone, we believe that education is not just a right, it is a lifeline. It is the bridge between vulnerability and opportunity. It is a bridge between limitation and possibilities. But today, that bridge must be stronger, it must be wider, and it must be smarter.
How many times have you heard these guys, talking about acknowledging the problems that we have? But yet you go back home to Sierra Leone, this is what you see. So let's continue watching this video.
The most wonderful blackboard. Let's go. See, these are the most wonderful blackboard where it is class 1 to class 2. Class 1 to class 2. The most wonderful blackboard. Sierra Leoneans, which education this go portray to the world? Which lesson we think say them picking they are going to learn by looking at this blackboard? Even the pot cover where they use now the host is valid past this blackboard. Even the slippers when they use is powerful passes. It costs the passes blackboard. Look at these wonderful children. Promise the children. Can we call them the future leaders of tomorrow? How they go look when we call them future leaders of tomorrow? Then they learn per blackboard like this. How? When I come, when I come. How we call them picking them? These are the future leaders.
So, guys, this is the reality of what we're dealing with. So, when you hear Fatima Bio, listen to her.
Communities in places where classrooms may be few, but dreams are many. And yes, we are exploring the promises of artificial intelligence. Because imagine a world where every child receives the attention they deserve, where learning is tailored, where struggles are identified early, where potential is nurtured, not overlooked. This is not a distant dream. It is within our reach, but let us be clear. Technology alone is not enough because the same digital world that opens doors can also expose our children to harm.
So this is the sad reality for me.
Tomorrow.
Let's continue watching this.
No, not to the all. I don't want to know. These are the future leaders of tomorrow. Then they learn per blackboard like this. Fine picking them. So promising. So promising. Yes, say we are part of Sierra Leone. Yes, say their parents pay taxes. That they pay due. That they contribute towards the development of Sierra Leone. Yes, say they can campaign to we vote for us. Look at this type of blackboard. Sierra Leoneans, look at this type of blackboard. Now this them became the land part. Which lesson? They don't get pencil. Some don't even get shoes for kind school. They don't get uniform. They don't even get slate for write upon it. Which lesson when they go learn? The wonderful blackboard. Most wonderful blackboard. Which lesson?
So I wanted to share that with you guys because we have to talk about these.
We are to lead. If we are to lead them into the future, we must also protect them within it. We must build digital spaces that are safe, spaces that empower, not exploit, spaces that uplift, not endanger. This is our responsibilities. And alongside access and safety, we must give our children something even more powerful. That is the understanding. Digital literacy is no longer optional, it is essential. Our children must not only consume technology, they must question it, they must shape it, and they must lead with it. They must become creators, innovators, and ethical leaders in a
all of what she's saying, the only children that would benefit from all of these technology thing that she's talking about would be our own children, their children, the elites class. And of course, our kids are already exposed to stuff like that way back, right? So this is why I say we're going to celebrate Sierra Leone because these people keep flying, wasting our resources just to put Sierra Leone, out there so folks would know about Sierra Leone. And it's the same thing that her husband has done as well, attending the FII summit, in Miami recently, right? It is the same thing. That's what, they both do. That is what they do. And so we all seen Maada Bio, at the FII conference, doing his thing and, giving these big speeches because, that's all they're good for, big speeches, making it known. We've seen all of that. So this is the reality of what we're dealing with. These are the people that we're dealing with. And we have to recognize that and we have to know that. And that is why you have folks like myself here, to make sure we, discuss these issues and bring it to your attention. But yes, this is Julius Maada Bio at the FII summit for you guys to see.
As the keynote speaker and distinguished guest of honor at this 4th edition of the FII summit here in Miami, allow me first to express my sincere appreciation to FII Institute, His Excellency Yasir Al-Ramayan, Richard Atias.
So yes, that's Julius Maada Bio
supporting
right?
This great and important global forum.
That's Julius Maada Bio. So himself, his wife, they both transversing the earth, to bring Sierra Leone to the map. And we get that, we understand. But when we look at what is being achieved, there is nothing but just talk and big talk and loud mouth, square pegs and round holes not fit in these summits or these events that they find themselves in. Because when you look at the reality of what is actually happening back home, there is nothing to talk about. That is the reality, sacrosanct fact. And we have to call it out for what it is. And I want to share this with you guys. Because after Maada Bio gave that speech, listen to this. So after he gave the speech, he had a sit down with, and just to talk about some of what he thinks are the opportunities, for Africa and blah, blah, blah. Listen to this.
What we need today, AI, technology, entrepreneurship.
AI technology. We're talking about AI, and we have a country. This is a man who's representing a country where we don't have electricity. Because when you talk about AI, guys, like myself or people like myself over here who are technologically inclined in a way, right? We've been using this AI technology with the Alexas and all of that. Even my wife, I remember like 6-7 years ago when I started using Alexa, she was like, who is this Alexa that you keep talking about? But with my Alexa, I can control my light bulbs. I'll be away from home and I'm home. I can see everything that is happening. All my gadgets are connected together using all of this AI technology. But that only happens when you have steady 24-hour electricity, because if your electricity keeps going in and out, it's going to disrupt your whole organization of what you have going on. You might have to reconfigure your system again to start all over and this and that. But this is what we're talking about. We're talking about prioritization. These guys do not prioritize what should be prioritized. They talk, yap, fly, but nothing else is there. Listen to this.
These are the things that we need to be able to move to the next. And so for me, the most important investment in these people should be education, making sure that what I have called human capital development is a combination of education, which feeds the brain, but also health that takes care of the structure, but also the what we call food security, which is to make sure that we are properly fit for purpose for every.
This is all just bogus big talk. This is just talk you talk to fill the space so that they know at least you're talking. But go home and look at the reality. Again, we're celebrating Sierra Leone, but we're going to call out the inefficiencies and let these guys know how we can direct our priorities moving forward. But let's take a look at what is actually happening in Sierra Leone with the drug epidemic. Look at this school child. Look at this girl child. You would say, okay, Ibrahim, this was a few 2 years ago or so. But this is what Julius Maada Bio has given us. Our kids going to school are not even protected. They're on drugs, the Kush epidemic. This girl, I don't know what her fate is. I hope this girl is alive, and which is why I'm doing this. Somebody sees this, they might know her. Hopefully she's still sober. Hopefully she's been warned off the drugs. Hopefully she's not a drug addict. Hopefully she's not even pregnant at this point and having a child, or probably has a child at this point. But this is the legacy of Julius Maada Bio. So yes, going to these platforms, as you can see him here, yabba, big talk, bogus talk, nothing to show. Back home is just backwardness and nothing good to talk about. The level of drug epidemic that has taken over, the dead bodies. Look at this.
Okay, me sign up son. Oh,
She's high on drugs.
Now fever. So now me born sign up son. Not bad. But why make you the smoke, babe? You just get to smoke.
I make sure now.
You just think for smoke. But your parents say no say they smoke.
Yeah.
Your mama no. Your papa dey. Your papa don't die. So now your mama dey. You get small sister.
So me papa we don't like do today can take me this yet. If in a life in a box up on a pay transport so go to headquarters and they tell you say not to box up. They don't go to museums. They don't go to the bus school.
We have to understand Sierra Leone is a small, tight-knit community. If Julius Maada Bio's daughter Agnes Bio, these are the people that are actually moving the drugs around in that country, because he's dating Boleos, the biggest drug lord in Europe, wanted, the most wanted man who has been convicted. The Dutch government had asked for extradition. Up to this point, the man is still in Sierra Leone. He has heavy security. His security is bigger than even Julius Maada Bio. We know he's with Agnes Bio. So the proliferation of drugs, which is why these kids have access to stuff like that. And we know it's gotten worse. This was just the beginning. These videos are the first videos that showed up during the days of, when the drug epidemic kicked in. These were the videos that actually showed up. These are the first set of videos. There are tons of more videos of young people. And I can show you that and again and again and again. But let's go to Julius Maada Bio. Talking about, if I rewind this just a little bit, talking about education. Listen to this.
So, thank you for accepting these questions. Africa population boom. Opportunity or taking risk?
It's both, but more of an opportunity. Risk if we do not invest in that population, and great opportunity for the world and Africa if we invest in skills development and make sure that they can help the global community.
So how is this man helping? This is Sierra Leone, and I can show you guys this. This is Sierra Leone. And you can go again across the country, you'll still see schools. This video was about a year or 2 years old at least, but you can still go to Sierra Leone in the villages and towns. Matter of fact, in the capital cities around, you will find schools like these. So if this man says he's investing in education, he's been in power legally for 5 years, unconstitutionally for 3 years. So 8 years, this man for 8 years has held onto power. What has he done? It is just big talk, bogus talk, no substance, nothing to show for back home. It is the same conditions again and again and again. Square pegs and round holes in these events. Check this out. Listen to this.
For doing assessments on the preparation of the reopening of schools. How will they see picking them not get enough furniture at the school? Once they don't have grown for rights. Very, very much saddening. Because see just few picking that they will get access for get bench and desk for rights. Other hand, they don't have grown for rights. Just see whether they're able to do right. How long they're going to be able to for rights. By the time school they off, the uniform don't know tea, then they get paid. So they call on the authorities to be concerned.
Of course, it's worse than that.
As most of the West,
listen to this.
Aging population. So Africa, being a young and fast-growing population, provides the greatest opportunity of our time, especially when most of the West and many other parts of the world are aging.
What will turn Africa's demographics into real economic power, in your opinion, Mr. President?
I've touched on that already. It's investment. We have to make sure that these young people are empowered with the knowledge of today. Fit for purpose education that we align with what we need today. AI, technology, entrepreneurship. These are the things that we need to be able to move to the next. And so for me,
where are we going to take this AI?
Investment.
Yeah, Master, who I would talk to?
Where are we going to take this AI? In this community?
Voluntary teacher by Wandu community, Aladura Primary School.
Well, we've been there at this school here for quite a while. Then on the 6th June 2021, a heavy thunderstorm and wind blew now we equal with school as soon as see now the structure.
Again, this is 2021. Can somebody go to this community? Let me start it again from the top. Go to this community and go check if this school was built. What is the status of the kids in that community? Are they attending school? Again, they've had 4 years at least to have fixed that. So Julius Maada Bio, let's use this as a litmus test. Prove me wrong. SLPP, go to this community. I'm going to start this video again. You SLPP, you're watching this. Go to this community. Go take a video and show us that, hey, remember when this thing happened in 2021? Look at what Julius Maada Bio's administration has done to build and reinstate this school for this community. Listen to the community's name.
Well, we've been there at this school here for quite a while. Then on the 6th June 2021, a heavy thunderstorm and wind blew now we equal with school as soon as see now the structure we done for them. So we cry to all the organizations, either government or non-governmental organization, for let them can we aid, let them construct this building back for let we school is mapped by one town here. Waiting for 5 minutes.
So what you want let government do for now?
Well, we want let government assist to it. Let government giving new structure because the picking and them they're too large in numbers. We know they do no sign. Right now on a veranda now we they use for let we sit, we exam. As soon as they see the
so please, 2021, go check in this community to see if that school has been built whilst Julius Maada Bio is sitting here
in this
spewing all of this.
Should be education. Making sure that what I have called human capital development is a combination of education, which feeds the brain, but also health that takes care of the structure, but also the what we call food security, which is to make sure that we are properly fit for purpose for everything that the world throws at us. The world is navigating a very difficult moment. And for me, education is the compass, the navigational skills, so that we can successfully get to our destination.
You just mentioned that in your conclusion, but why Africa's moment is
check this out, guys.
Here, and it's not just...
So, you know, when Maada Bio is saying all the stuff that he's saying, look at our young brothers. Look at our young brothers, what they're going through.
Behind the stick.
High on drugs. High on drugs. These are the people that Julius Maada Bio is telling you about education, feeding the tummy, taking care of this. These folks, because they have nothing to do, you know, no job for them, they've resorted to drugs because Julius Maada Bio's administration has made drugs so available. Because in societies where there's zero tolerance for drugs, you don't see drugs. Look at them. This is what Sierra Leone is. So again, that is why I say this man, these people are square pegs in round holes. Yes, they are putting Sierra Leone on the map because everybody's known about Sierra Leone. But at the end of the day, look at what is actually happening. It does not reflect what they say, and that is the point I'm trying to make to you all. These guys are motorcycle riders on drugs. All of these people. Look at him.
Yes.
But yet, Julius Maada Bio goes out and about. His wife goes out and about. Talking about humanoid robots, AI technology. These are the young people that should be. These are the young people that should be applying the AI technology. These are the young men and women that should be in our industries, you know, working on these technologies to advance Sierra Leone. Look at them, all young people. And even the ones recording these videos are laughing at them. Who is responsible for all of this? It's Julius Maada Bio. Because if he has a zero tolerance for drugs, we will not have the proliferation of drugs across the country, so easily accessible, destroying the lives of young people. Look at them.
Una snapper, we will una send that to mama. Una snapper, una snapper.
You know, all of these. But there you go. Julius Maada Bio is right here.
When you combine the sheer amount of critical minerals that we have, which is needed, and you combine the demographic momentum, and also the other opportunities in terms of infrastructure, entrepreneurship, the creativity of these young people, but also entrepreneurship, you will realize that it is a unique, that convergence of opportunities is good for growth right across the continent, but also in the world.
In your opinion, Mr. President, what is the missing link between population growth and real prosperity?
Investment. Real population growth means nothing. Demographics does not mean anything. It means that we have to make them fit for purpose for the world in which we live.
Thank you. And then look at this. How are these guys fit for purpose? How are they fit for purpose? When Julius Maada Bio's administration has made drugs so easily accessible and available across Sierra Leone, to the point where his daughter, his own daughter, his biological daughter, is dating the drug kingpin, Bolayos Lydeckers, who's the most wanted drug dealer. Look at them. Look at our military are even affected by this drug proliferation across the country. The availability, too easy, too cheap, because of Julius Maada Bio's administration. So it's one thing when they are outside of the country, how they speak. That's why I say watch what they do, not what they say. Look at what you're watching on your screen here. This is Julius Maada Bio. When he steps outside of Sierra Leone, the language is totally different.
Again, I use this word, the navigational tools, to be able to navigate an extremely complex and evolving world in which we live today. Without that, they are going to be lost, and they are going to be part of the liability of.
And we see it now. They are lost. Look at them. The youths are lost in Sierra Leone. So it's one thing what come out here to talk about and this and that, but look at the reality of what is actually happening. That is why I say we're going to celebrate Sierra Leone because it's our country, but at the same time, we're going to check the inefficiencies. These are the inefficiencies of Julius Maada Bio and his administration. And we have to give them the guide for what should be priorities. So do more work at home. Invest at home. Stop stealing the resources of the people. Create opportunities for these young people. Look at them across the country. But he's going overseas and talking crap. Square pegs in round holes. And you have blind supporters. Look at them. Drugs. Drugs. These are the people that should be engaged. Are you telling me Sierra Leoneans are that serious that if you give Sierra Leoneans a choice to work versus a choice of just doing drugs, you telling me they will pick drugs over to work and be productive and live? A lot of these guys are taking these drugs because they've given up hope on life. No opportunities for them.
As you can see now.
Look at this, a military guy. Passed out on drugs. These are the realities. Look at this young lady. She can be raped, abused in this condition that she is. She would be impregnated and nobody would even know who the father of the baby is. A young woman. Are you telling me that, she does not care for herself, she does not like herself? Yes, I'm not going to give, the blame all to Julius Maada Bio, but he has 99% and the 1% is to them, because you should not look at your problems and say, you know what? Look up, listen to the conversation. as a Sierra Leonean. Listen to this. But then look at Julius Maada Bio.
And today,
Listen to it.
We have boundaries. We can attempt to move people. But again, like capital, people move towards opportunities, an environment
absolutely.
that is great.
Absolutely.
So we can attempt to shift them, but they will always come back. So let's educate them where they are, give them the tools to contribute to national development, but also to global economy. And that will make them meaningful citizens of the world. They have to be global nomads.
At that point, Maada Bio copied and stole that point from Botswana's President Boko. If you go back and listen to the interview they did with Tucker Carlson, that's where Julius Maada Bio took that. So he should have quoted the president of Botswana to say, like my colleague, president of Botswana said, we should prepare them to be, nomads.
People who roam the world with ideas, skills, and the energy, the creativity, but also the...
So this is what we're dealing with. Maada Bio is talking all the talk, big talk, big talk, big talk. Look at our young ladies. Look at them. Of no good. Look at this one.
Now watch here. Woman, I need you so. This 5 o'clock this morning, push the fetan. I don't count to come on this country. And I need you so. This case people pick it up. Girl pick it up so. Now woman. Hey. So here you go.
This is what is actually happening in Sierra Leone. But Julius Maada Bio and his wife would go all across this place. Big talk, big talk, big talk, big talk, big talk, big talk, but nothing to show. Let's bring these people to book. Let's wake them up. That is what I'm doing. Husband and wife. Transversing the earth. Blah, 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 blah. Potential for education, this and that. We can do this. Humanoid technology, artificial intelligence, AI. But go to Sierra Leone and there's nothing to show. There is nothing to write home about. The wife is over here talking big talk. Big talk. But nothing to show. Look at them.
Excellencies, this is why our role matters so deeply. As First Ladies and First Spouses, we are more than ceremonial figures. We are advocates. We are conveners. We are catalysts for change. We have the ability to turn intention to action and action to impact. But the truth is, no single nation can do this alone. The challenges we face do not recognize borders, and neither should they have solutions. Together, through this coalition, we can build something extraordinary, a future where technology becomes a great equalizer.
These are the conditions of our schools and communities.
Poor sanitary condition. Children uses paper and plastic to clean themselves after using toilets. The toilet is decayed with poor water system everywhere. According to sources, 8 churches operate in the compound, but no account given to the Ministry of Education. The school is completely deplorable.
Guys, I have to be somewhere. I have an appointment. But I want to share this with you. And as much as we celebrate in Sierra Leone, these people you see on my screen, they are just square pegs in round holes. They just keep traveling. But they're not really intent. They're not really intent on what they're talking about. The intentions is not there. These are people that are only looking out for themselves. They are preparing themselves for future opportunities so that they can hobnob with, figures in positions of authority. They don't care about Sierra Leone. I've given you the evidences. You've seen the evidences. The intent is not there. They're not intent on doing anything. They have no intentions of transforming the lives of Sierra Leoneans. These people are a disgrace. They don't understand what it is to transform lives of people. You've seen the evidences. The schools are dilapidated across that country. No water in these schools. The public toilets are nasty. You go to the government offices, the toilets are nasty. No electricity. Sanitation is terrible across the country. These people are square pegs in round holes. They're not fit for nothing. This is what bothers folks like myself. Because these people are traveling the world and they see what life is like, but they don't want to do that for their own people. But yet they're traveling across the country with no intentions of fixing our country, just propaganda, constantly propagandizing. That's all they do. Lies upon lies upon lies.